I'm Gavin. You're watching Regen Racing. If you've been around the channel for any amount of time, if you haven't, welcome. Feel free to subscribe. You'll know that I'm not an overly particular person. I'm not picky about a lot of things. If I ask for a burger with no onions and it comes with onions, like, I don't really care as long as it's a good burger. If I marry my middle school sweetheart and 15 years later it turns out she snores, you know, better luck next time. But no harm, no foul. It's not a big deal. And that's why I found it interesting that I was having trouble finding a tune that I was willing to accept for its flaws. See, I don't much care if it comes with, you know, some minor drivability issues, worse gas mileage. I don't even care if it theoretically produces more horsepower on a dyno. All I care about is if it's faster, actually tangibly faster. And that doesn't seem like asking much for a tune. Last year when we did our baseline dyno and this thing made 151 at the wheels, that wasn't enough to impress your mother.
Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
So I started looking into options to tune this thing. As is tradition, I went through Fab9 and got VersaTuner software along with their N1 tune, which also comes included with a few revisions. Bing bong. And at the same time we did headers and HKS exhaust. If you didn't catch that video, I'll throw it up in the corner for you. It's actually one of our most popular videos, and I'm not sure why.
Okay.
Everyone likes to waste their internet differently, I suppose. Today we're going to talk about which tune I've been running for the last year, and my overall experiences with tuning this car. And we're going to do some tests to see what this thing actually does, because I haven't tested it in a while.
God damn it, what do you want?
I want to go fast.
So first thing we're gonna do is some quarter-mile pulls. I'm gonna do 5 and just show you the fastest one here. And now that we've got those 5 runs, we're gonna take the fastest and the slowest ones, throw them in the trash. I'm not much interested in outliers. I'm interested in repeatability. So throwing out the fastest and slowest and then just taking an average of the 3 that are left over, that's how we're gonna be doing these measurements. Because I am not a drag racer, I don't give a shit about quarter-mile times. I only barely care about 0 to 60. One thing I do care about a lot is a second gear sweep from like 15 to 60 miles an hour, because that's basically what you're doing all day at an autocross. That's the main thing that this car is competitively set up for. That's what I do a lot of, so you know, that's the thing I care about. So we're gonna do 5 of those now. I'm gonna start in second gear at like 10 miles an hour and floor it and get some 15 to 60 times. I want to entertain you and give you some different camera angles, but you're not allowed to make fun of all the lights on my dash. Those are a problem for a different video. That's not what we're talking about today. And that's it. So now that we've seen how this tune performs, let's take a look at another one. While I figure this out, we can talk about why I'm running the tune I am. Yeah, I mentioned earlier that I went with Fab9's N1 package that included some revisions. And the tune that we're flashing right now is not one of those. I made a mental note to myself going into this. Sorry, I just woke up. Not to try to drag anyone's name or anything like that, but now that I've read through the emails again and stuff, it's kind of got my blood pressure going up again. I'm trying to be nice. I was dissatisfied with the services provided by Fab9. I ran the base map for a few days while I was waiting to get the custom tunes from them. You have to send off all your vehicle information and stuff, and they send you back a file. So while I was waiting on that, I ran one of the base maps that VersaTuner comes with. Running the base map got me really excited. I got a bunch of baseline pulls and stuff. The same exact tests that we're doing today. The tune was a little bit faster, maybe. It did clear the check engine light and raise the red line by 100 RPM or whatever it is. So that on an autocross course, you can hang on to second gear for an extra mile an hour or 2. before bouncing off the limiter. Satisfied me. It got me excited for what Fab 9 was going to send me back, and they sent me back a file that was slower.
You tell these people that it's not opposite day.
After several weeks of going back and forth and revising and sending more logs over and sending over more empirical data, that it's slower not only than the base map, but then stock. I'll put the email here. This is the last correspondence that I sent over. I also sent another checkup a week later just saying, hey, did you get that? Is there anything you want to do? What are we doing, guys? And those went unanswered. Hey, what are you doing? Wait, I told them you snore.
That's a lie. Why would you say that? I don't snore.
You got food?
Yeah.
Sweet.
But you lied to the people. You don't deserve the food.
I didn't lie to the people. I would never lie to you. Don't listen to her. She snores. I don't know if I was too tedious of a customer. I don't know if... I feel like my correspondence was relatively professional. You be the judge. I don't know. But either way, everything that they did bother to send me was actually slower than stock.
It's not opposite day.
Thank you.
You're not welcome, Your Honor.
Hey!
So I just went ahead and committed to running the base map, and that's what we've been running this whole time. Cannot figure out how to get this thing to connect. It's a pain in the ass every time. I always forget the incredibly specific sequence that it needs to connect to the car. But anyways, I don't mean to drag Fab 9 or anything. I was unsatisfied. You might have a different experience. They're one of the biggest names in tuning these cars. I don't know. I didn't have a good time. But I found somebody that I think I will have a good time with.
My name's Adam. I run a little tuning company over in the UK called Clear Motorsport. I bought myself an ND 1.5 litre, which you don't get in the USA. Decided that the way that the engine was set up wasn't really to my tastes. It was a little bit kind of flat and unresponsive. So I bought VersaTuner, did a load of tuning on my own car, and at that point VersaTuner didn't have an inbuilt tune for the 1.5 litre. So I approached them and said, look, I've built this tune, I think it's really good. Would you be happy to use it on your platform? They said yes, and managed to get a full professional tuner's license from them for the year as well. So now sort of rolling out those changes and improvements that I found on my car to the other variants of the ND and helping people out. And so far, the response has been great. And it's nice to chat to other Miata enthusiasts as well. So
after I posted my dyno video to the pages, you reached out saying, hey, I can do it better. What specifically made you reach out and offer that? Like, was there anything you saw that you were like, I think I can do this better specifically, or anything like that?
I'd seen some logs from other tuners who mainly only adjust the ignition timing. One of the main benefits you get is because the header doesn't have a cat in, the exhaust gases exit the header faster, so less heat stays in the head, which means you can run a little bit more ignition advance without knock or detonation. So that's the main change that you get from the header without the cat. But the exhaust cam changes just give it that little bit extra on top. So I was wondering if by approaching you and offering to help out, we can make some little changes that would give the car a bit more power, and that would hopefully display on a dyno as well.
We've already got the log file set up and ready to log all the parameters that he needs to see to be able to make adjustments. So we're going to go out and do our calibration runs and let it settle in, and then we're going to do some pulls. We're going to get the logs pulled and sent over and see if we need to do any revisions. And that all sounds really boring to do on camera, so montage! What the hell is even that?
Hello, how you doing?
I'm good.
Do you know what the speed limit is on this road?
There's no speed limits when you're testing a new tune. Everybody knows that. Whoa. Why is that zooming in? Stop zooming in! I don't know how to drive this thing. So I'm flashing what should be the last revision. We've done 2 rounds of logs and revisions. That initial one that he sent was pretty close and felt really good. I'm saving all actual thoughts and review stuff until we're happy with the final version, and this might be it. The other ones, me and him have both been pretty happy with, and I can't tell the difference between minor revisions anyway. So far, I'm very happy with it, and it's got a couple of neat features that I'm really excited to talk about when we get there. Gonna let this last revision finish flashing. I'm gonna make some more progress on the Supra. If you're not following along with that, you're missing out, because the Supra is coming along pretty great. I love the Miata, obviously, but this is my fucking dream car. Very excited for it to be roadworthy and with a lot of updates and stuff. But you're not here for Supra stuff, so if you're interested in Supra stuff, go check that out. So it's turning lights on and off and finishing up, and here in a few minutes it'll be done. And as long as the logs look good on it, we're going to skip right over into testing it now. All right, supposedly this is it. He's happy with what he sees on the logs. I'm happy with how it feels so far. Let's see what it actually does. That was awful. It's never, shut up. It's never lit up like that in first gear before. Like, it's never just absolutely blown the tires off. Like, that's not a thing that I saw coming. I'm gonna have to try that again and learn how to launch this thing with a little bit more power, I guess. Before it gets too dark, let's go ahead and see what the second gear pull looks like, even if I can't find a good quarter-mile jog around here. There's too much traffic on Rainbow Road today. Hey, that's fast.
Quarter mile.
Let me do the rest of the runs before we reach a formal conclusion, but that looks good.
82 kilometers later.
All right, we've got all of our numbers and it's looking pretty good, but I don't remember all of the numbers exactly off the top of my head. So I'm gonna get home, pour through the numbers, and we'll talk about it. So looking at the numbers, and I didn't write them down or anything, I'm just looking back at the edit from earlier. You already saw this, you know, because of who I am as a person. We'll start with the quarter mile and 0 to 60 numbers that I don't care about so much. Our 0 to 60 on the base map was 6.47. On the current tune, we averaged 6.43, which is a little bit faster. Nothing to write home about, but it's interesting. Give me a second. Our quarter mile on the base map averaged 14.84 at 91.65. Today, we averaged 14.75 at 92.97. So we took off about 1/10 of a second from our quarter mile and trapped almost 1.5 miles an hour higher, which seems like a lot to me, but I'm not a drag racer. I don't know if that's a lot. What I do know is that all of our 60-foot times were slower because of the new excessive wheel spin, because I didn't learn how to launch it with the added power yet. I've got a lot of wheel spin on launch, and that's interesting because with a slower 60-foot, we're clearing the quarter faster and still have a faster 0 to 60. So once I learn how to launch this thing, those numbers will improve significantly, to my understanding. If you are a drag or dig racer, let me know if that works like that. If you improve your 60-foot by 1/4 of a second, does the quarter mile time go down by 1/4 of a second? Does that stay proportional? I don't know, actually. I'll leave the draggy slips up right here, so if you know what you're looking at better than I do, take a look and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. The part that gets exciting, that really shows what we're on about here, is the second gear pull. So on the base map, our second gear sweep from 15 miles an hour to fuel cut was 6.29 seconds. The current tune, 6.03. That's why I care about that number more. That test there that removes all human error and wheel spin at launch shows that this thing's ripping significantly harder than it was before, and you can really feel it. It's blatantly faster now. That's what we're sitting at right now. A 0 to 60 of 6.43 and a quarter mile of 14.75 at 93 miles an hour. And now if you're a numbers guy that's done any research on these cars, you might notice that those numbers are worse than stock. And that's why today's tests all need to be taken with a grain of salt, because I'm on my winter setup still. These are 225/45 Hakkapelitas snow tires. They are much wider and taller and heavier overall than the stock wheel and tire setup. The stock car is rated for a quarter mile of like 14.4, which we're not even close to. Between the added weight and rolling resistance of our wheel and tire setup, plus it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm 330 pounds myself. Like, that's probably not nearly as relevant. It's probably not relevant at all, actually. When you're making as much power as this does, you don't care about an extra 150 pounds. But it's almost time to get off of this setup. It's actually decent weather now. We haven't had any snow in a little while, and the autocross season starts in 2 weeks. Is the first autocross event of the season. It's lifted right now to fit those tires for the winter, so we'll be lowering the car back down, getting back onto my race tires. I run RE71 RS's on Graham lights, so there's a substantial difference in weight there. And once we get into that configuration for the season, we'll get some fresh numbers for you and see if we actually do beat that stock 14.4 quarter mile. But that's not all that we're here for. This tune does a couple of other really neat things. Let's go for a drive. One, gas mileage. I haven't seen 37 in a long time. Best I ever got on my previous tune was like 35. I don't know what kind of witchcraft Adam did. Adjust the timing of the flux capacitor. I don't know. I'm not the tuner. Another big thing that I'm particularly excited about. The previous base map that I was on was a Crackles and Pops map, but it didn't do anything even close to this. And it's not like it's automatically built in. You have to tell him you want it to do this and how much you want it to do this. And I told him, since I still have a stock cat, we've only removed the pre-cat, that it's never going to be any kind of absurd AK-47 type shit. So just go ahead and give it everything that you can, and let's see what it does with the stock cat in place. We might reel it back in a little bit. It's a little fucking childish, but it's fun. It's just a little pop, 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 pop. So if you're into that kind of thing, he can do that very well. And if you're running an aftermarket mid-pipe without the stock cat, I can't imagine what it does. But it's probably funny. Oh, neat, a 4th gen Eclipse. Don't see a lot of those. They're awful, but you don't see a lot of them. Something can be neat without being good, and it's neat. I bet they like Crackles. Yeah, that's a bud. Another big thing that I really like about this tune that makes a huge observable difference is the mid and low range torque. It's a substantial difference. And I think that shows in the second gear sweep time. Being able to take off that much from our second gear sweep in around town traffic like this, huge difference of actual usable power. Right now, not even having to downshift, being at like 2,500 RPM and just having a little bit. It's a lot more than it was before, and that's nice. I'm very happy. This is very well done. Highly recommend. We gotta talk to Adam again. Let's get him on the phone. We need to tell him he's doing a good job. See if he answers the phone. I have no idea what time it is over there. Hello, how's it going? Hey, what's going on, man? Hey, this tune is really good. It's good. It's smooth. I've got no complaints at all. Very happy with it.
Great.
Where do the people find you? It's Clear Motorsport Co. UK, something like that?
That's right. I tend to work mostly by email because a lot of customers, even now, have picked up our international, so we've got time zone differences and all sorts of things. Part of the process I like to include is feedback from the driver and owner of the car. because I believe that the kind of human part of it and the data part of it need to come together to create something that matches you and how you drive a car, rather than just going, this is how it should be, go and drive the car. So having a log of everything we've discussed, so I can make sure that that's taken into account, I think is really useful. The email is just motorsport@gmail.com, nice and easy.
You said you wanted to offer a discount.
If anybody's keen to speak to me and you do want to get a tune, you're welcome to get 10% off if you mention Red Hen Racing.
There's a link in the description. Go check him out. Start talking to him. If you're thinking about getting tuned, even if you're not, you should be. I'm telling you, he's a fucking wizard. Sounds good, man. I appreciate you. We'll talk to you later.
You're welcome. Take care.
Tally ho. I panicked. I don't know what they say over there. In all seriousness, Adam has been excellent to work with. He's super responsive. He knows this software in and out. If you're in the market for tuning, just reach out to him and just dip your toe in there and ask him some questions. He will find a solution that gets what you're going for. I couldn't be happier with mine, and I'm really excited to see how this autocross season goes. There were a few moments last year where I felt like it had enough power. So, I don't know how we're gonna put all this down now. But that's the game, baby! If you found this useful or insightful at all, feel free to subscribe. There's plenty more on the way. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think. I'm legally obligated to reply to every single one of them. Big thanks to all our channel supporters here. Meet the Pit Crew. If you're interested in joining, for just 10 cents a day, you can help us do whatever the fuck it is we do around here. You get early access to the videos, you get a permanent discount on merch from redhenracing.com. Consider joining, but just to subscribe is cool too. I hope I haven't been showing you my cut up pizza box project for the seats in the Supra. Don't look at that. As always, thanks for watching. We love you and we'll see you next time.
We out here doing hella gang shit.